FM, with you always. The heartbeat of Kolkata.
Absolutely, the heartbeat of Kolkata অর্থাৎ 91.9 Friends FM. যেখানে এই মুহূর্তে চলছে ফ্রেন্ডস ফর এভার, রয়েছি আমি তোমার ফ্রেন্ড কুহেলি তোমার সঙ্গে। উইথ দ্যাট ইটস 9:16 হয়ে 1 seconds right there by the studio clock. With that, of course, Monday it is. Monday motivationের সঙ্গে you know exactly what it is the time for. Yes, it is the time for me to welcome our very dear friend, our dil se man friend, Jimmy, right there on Friends Forever. So a very warm welcome, Jimmy sir, to Friends Forever.
Hi, good evening, and thank you so much for having me on Friends Forever. As happens every Monday, I share a story which has happened on my show, Direct Dil Se. Either people call in to narrate or people engage and interact and make beautiful things happen. This story goes way back. You know, it was monsoons, heavy rains. I remember one of those days in Calcutta where literally, you know, it was pouring cats and dogs. And in the process, I still remember, you know, it was a Friday night. And, you know, there was a couple who was, you know, going on the road, you know, basically. And they were passing by towards North Calcutta, extreme north, I think towards the, you know, towards the airport side, etc., that side. And they were going on the road. And, of course, the road was wet and there was a huge ditch by the side. Unfortunately, the bike skidded. The bike skidded and both of them went for a toss on the road. This story was being narrated to me, actually, you know. So, what a beautiful moment, you know, and these guys, they had lost their phones, they had lost everything, you know, while falling into the ditch. It was pitch dark. But the only thing on was the bike ka headlight. You know, the bike's headlight was on. So it took about half an hour, 45 minutes. They were struggling to get out. Both of them were injured, unable to walk. And the ditch was about 7-8 feet below, you know.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult. And the area was pitch dark. There was no one there, hardly any cars passing by, and no one could notice. You know, after about half an hour, 45 minutes, there was a cab driver who was driving down. Typical yellow cab.
Right.
Driver was driving down, and he was going slowly, and he noticed some light was shining. You know, down in the ditch, he could see some light coming out. So he was
All right, yes, sir,
he was
he's back.
he was very, very curious, and he decided to stop the cab, and he looked down below.
Okay.
And you won't believe it. That's the time, you know, when he tried to get down but was unable to get down. So what he did, you know, he actually walked down the area. He actually pulled out people nearly about 300-400 meters away. You know, there were small little hutments and people staying there. He collected them. He brought them to the location of the incident happening, and together, about I think 8 or 10 people or 12 people together, brought the couple up, pulled their bike up, and then so sweet. The bike was beyond repair. So what the cab driver did, he took them in his vehicle all the way to hospital, you know, ensured that they are safe, they are taken care of. Just imagine, he had no reason, but he stopped the cab, and as a good human being, he helped that couple out. And I remember the next Friday, that couple actually gave me a call and narrated this entire story. And I cannot forget it because this actually happened on a Friday night the week before, you know. And someone who noticed, a cab driver, a typical Kolkata city cab driver, came forward to help out. There were no cars. It was pitch dark. No one on that side. But because he saw that glimmer of the light from the ditch, so he you know, he thought kuch hai, you know, because he couldn't see anything. It was just the light shadow coming up, you know, from an 8 feet down ditch. And he saw that little shadow and he stopped. And he stopped, and actually he made all the difference because he alone didn't know what to do. He collected people from nearby, about 100-200 meters away, hutments nearby. He got them. They helped the couple out slowly. They went down. They took the couple out. They pulled the bike up, after which the cab driver took the couple to the nearest hospital for medical treatment. And
Right.
this is why I say, Calcutta is a beautiful city, city
Indeed.
of joy, city of warmth, city of closeness. And here, everybody is here to help out. In Calcutta, if you lose your way, if you ask someone for a direction, they won't
Correct.
give you the direction. They'll most probably take you to your location,
Right.
literally. And this
Yes.
is how the warm-hearted people of Kolkata make a difference. Very big emotional connect. And the city is so vibrant with so much of love and affection. You don't get it anywhere in the world. And this is why, we together can come and make a difference. And that's why we call Friends FM the heartbeat of Kolkata, because together আমরা সব একসঙ্গে কিছু ভালো করতে পারবো for this beautiful city. And I think that's
Absolutely.
very, very important for the city. It's Friends FM is not just about music, not just about a great voice. It's about connecting people, connecting hearts. It's helping to spread messages, and
Yes.
together those 1.5 crore people together and us, which is the heartbeat of Calcutta, can come together and make a huge difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. As Sir just mentioned, because at Friends FM we know Kolkata the best. So, Sir, of course, as you narrated the story, there is again a question that popped up in my
Yeah.
head associated to this story that you just mentioned. So, the couple that you just mentioned about, I'm sure they were hopeless. They didn't even think for a micro millisecond that they would be saved by a cab driver. So, sir, what would you actually suggest for people who, you know, in such situations or maybe scenarios in their life, loses hope, just like the couple, I'm sure they did. So, what would be your
See, I
thought
always
process?
believe, you can be
Yeah,
down, you can be out, you can be in bad state.
yeah,
But you know what? Never lose hope, because
yes,
hope can take you out of it. See, what
yes,
happened is they were down and they were out. I don't know what their thoughts were that time. Their phones were,
yes,
when they went for a toss, their phones
yes,
disappeared and they
yeah,
couldn't find anything. So they had no way
right,
to contact anybody. But
absolutely,
somehow or another, they still were there, clutching on, holding on, hoping for the
absolutely,
best.
yes,
At a state when you believe in yourself and you believe that, hope matters, it can bring a wonder to you. Because see, people give up, people lose hope, ki hocche na, keno hobe.
correct,
But if you
correct, correct.
are consistent, if you go, whatever you're doing in life, even if you're in a bad situation, but you know that at the end of the tunnel there will be light. It may take some time. Maybe if the cab driver didn't see it, would have taken maybe 5 or 6 hours. It was
Right,
raining. The danger
absolutely,
was that it was cold. They were in a ditch. Water was
yes,
piling up there. So many things could have happened.
right.
And it's just sometimes I feel it's hope, it's belief that makes a difference, and I think that makes a difference across lives, and that's important.
Absolutely. Thank you so, so much, sir, of course, for coming in right here at Friends Forever and sharing a wonderful story. And again, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Absolutely, Kohli. Thank you. Take care. Good night. And hey, believe in yourself, believe in this beautiful city, and make a difference. As they say now, the more good you do, the more good comes back to you. Till then,
Absolutely.
take care. Good night, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Good night. Bye bye. With that, of course, it's time for us to get back to music because Friends FM Originals is right here.
Friends FM Originals.
All right, so যারা যারা জয়েন করেছো, থ্যাংক ইউ সো ভেরি মাচ ফর জয়নিং ইন 9:24 it is by the studio clock. Bobby Mitra has written, Hi Kuheli and Jimmy, the boss, what's up? Believe in yourself, very well said, Jimmy sir. Swapan Singh, thank you so much for joining in from Delhi. Heartbeat of Kolkata, absolutely Amrit. We are the heartbeat of Kolkata, that was 91.9 Friends FM. So I really hope you've had a very productive day because it's essential that we do have a productive day and have a smooth, time. Anyway, with that, তোমার সঙ্গে আমার দেখা হবে আগামীকাল অ্যান্ড আজকের টপিক যেটা করব সেটা আমি বলবো আমি ইন জাস্ট সাম টাইম, বাট তারও আগে অফকোর্স যেরকম গান চলছে রাইট ইয়ার চলতে থাকুক। আর বলে রাখি আগামীকালের পরের দিন অর্থাৎ পরশু দিন ইজ সুনিধি চৌহান আই অ্যাম হোম টোর হ্যাপেনিং, যেটার প্রাউড রেডিও পার্টনার হচ্ছি আমরা, অর্থাৎ 91.9 ফ্রেন্ডস FM। হাই, কী হলো কুহেলি, শরীর খারাপ তোমার? হ্যাঁ, মানে একটু শরীরটা খারাপ, ইয়েস। সো এনিওয়ে, চলো, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ ফর জয়নিং ইন সুনিধি চৌহানের হোম ট্যুরের আমরা প্রাউড রেডিও পার্টনার, অ্যান্ড আই এম শিওর তোমরা সবাই এক্সাইটেড জাস্ট লাইক আস। উইথ দ্যাট আইল টেক ইউর লিভ। দেখা হবে তোমার সঙ্গে আগামীকাল ঠিক রাত 9টার সময়। সো গুড নাইট, টেক কেয়ার।